Hello viewers, this is Wagdaro now taking you through this tutorial for O-level mathematics, and this video we're going to talk about the topic for parameters for grouped data and mainly solutions for the previous assignment. Now these are the very questions I left in the previous video, and I believe by now you have already tried them out and ready to mark yourself and check your progress. So we shall start with question 1. Question 1 says, question 1 was got from UNEB 2016, paper 1, question 14, and says, the following table shows the marks scored by 36 students in a mathematics test. These are the marks and these are the frequencies. So frequencies are the number of students who got each of these marks, who got marks in each of these ranges. So part A, they said calculate to 2 decimal places. Know that word, 2 decimal places. Roman 1, the mean mark, and Roman 2, the median mark. Then part B, they said find the probability that a student picked at random scored below 40. So the first thing to do is to tabulate your results, showing all the columns that will be used to answer the questions like you saw in the previous video. So the first column will be for class, and class are these marks, like we said, because they are grouped into classes. So after listing the class, next will be frequency. So frequency still are these very values corresponding to each class. And after that, you have to get the total. I think we realize that the total number corresponds to this number here. So that's how you can know that you have added correctly. Next is to get the mid-mark. Mid-mark, we said you get the average of the upper class and lower class limit and upper class limit. So when I say 30 plus 39 divided by 2, I'll come up with 34.5. Then the average of this, I'll come up with 44.5. For this, I'll come up with 54.5. For this, I'll come up with 64.5. And this one, 74.5. And this one, 84.5. This one, 94.5. So next is to now generate the column for fx. Fx is got by multiplying. So 4 by this, I'll come up with 138. Then 6 by this, I'll come up with 267, and 3 by this, I'll come up with 163.5. This by this, I'll come up with 774. 2 by this, I'll come up with 149, and 5 by this, I'll come up with 42.5, and this by this, I'll come up with 378. Now next, I also have to add all these values, and when I add, I'll come up with 2292. So next is to generate the column of cumulative frequency. So cumulative frequency, the column for cumulative frequency is generated when they ask for median. When you look at this, they ask for median, so you have to generate the column for cumulative frequency. So cumulative frequency, we shall start with this very value here and put it there. Then after that, you shall say 4 plus this to come up with 10, then 10 plus this to come up with 13, 13 plus this to come up with 25, 25 plus this to come up with 27, 27 plus this to come up with 32, 32 plus this to come up with 36. So I think we realize that this last value corresponds to the total frequency. So that's how you can know that you have generated the column correctly or there are some error. So if these two values are different, then there must be some error in either this or this value. Now shall go to the column for class boundaries. Now for class boundaries, said you look at these values. So this is 40, this is 39. So when you get the difference is 1. So 40 minus 39 is 1. Now that 1 divided by 2, you get 0.5. Now what does that mean? It means that for you to get the values of the lower class boundaries, you come at the lower class limits and subtract 0.5 from each to get these values. Then when you come to the upper class limits, you add 0.5 to each value of the upper class limit to generate the upper class boundary. So let's do that. For the first one, 30 minus 0.5 is 29.5, then 39 plus 0.5 is 39.5. Then for the second one, it will be 39.5 and 49.5. Next it will be 49.5 and 59.5. Next will be 59.5 and 69.5. Next 69.5, 79.5, 79.5, 89.5, 89.5, 99.5. So the best, now what you have done, you have generated all the values that we'll need to answer the questions as in the given questions. So what we are going to do, we shall now go back to our A Roman 1. So A Roman 1 said calculate the mean mark to 2 decimal places. So we shall come and remember that mean mark is given by summation of fx over summation of f. So our summation of fx is this very value, so come on and put this very value here. Then summation of f is this very value, so come and put it here. When you use the calculator, you'll get 66.67, and it is 67 because we have rounded off to 2 decimal places, so you have to also state that I have rounded off to 2 decimal places. So that was Roman 1. Now let's go to Roman 2. Roman 2 says that calculate the median mark. So for the median mark, we remember we have to first get the median position. So let's first go and get the median position. So median position, remember, is equal to n over 2, where n is the total frequency, which is 36 over 2 to get 18th position. So we shall come here and say that now the median position is 18. So what we are going to do, we shall come at these values of cumulative frequency. From 13 we go to 25, so that means that 18 is within this value. Therefore this will be our row of interest. Let's first demarcate it. Now from there we shall know that for each calculation median you need the lower class boundary. So the lower class boundary is 59.5. Then the class width will be the difference between the two class boundaries. So 69.5 minus 59.5 will be 10. Or like we said, you can also get it from the class limits by saying 69 minus 60 to come up with 9. Then you remember to add 1, so you say plus 1 to come up with 10. So n of the 2 is okay. Then we also need the column for CFB, which is the cumulative frequency before the median class, which will be 13. Then we also need the frequency of the median class, which is 12. So those values shall come and substitute them in our formula. So the first thing to do is to code the formula for median, which will be LM or plus n over 2 minus CFB over FM, everything multiplied by C. So for LM is the lower class boundary of the median class, which we saw as 59.5. N over 2 is the median position, which we have already calculated there. CFB is the cumulative frequency before the median class, which is 13. And FM is the frequency of the median class, which is 12. C is the class width, which we already calculated as 10. Then from there we shall use the calculator, and when I simplify only this part, I'll come up with 4.17. Then after that I'll add on this value, which is this lower class boundary, to come up with 63.67 to 2 decimal places. So you have to remember to note that you run it off to 2 decimal places. So that was part A. Now let's go to part B. Part B said find the probability that a student picked at random scored below 50. So what you'll do, you'll come here and look for 50. So below 50 is this and this, which is 10. Now remember, probability is equal to event over sample space. So it will be 4 plus 6, which is 10, over the total, which is 36. So we shall come here and say the probability below 50 will be equal to 4 plus 6 over the total, which is 36, which will give you 10 over 36. So basically that's what they wanted in this question. Now let's see how marks can be awarded. So B1 is for you to generate the column for X, and another M1 for generating the values of Fx, B1 for you to sum up all those values of Fx, then B1 for you to generate the column of CF, and B1 for you to generate the column of class boundaries. Then on this side, M1 is for you to substitute in the formula, and A1 is for you to get the output to 2 decimal places, because the question specified 2 decimal places. So if they have more than 2, then this will be now a 0. So remember to round off to the given number, to the required number of decimal places. For this one, B1 is for you to get the median position, M1 is for you to substitute in the formula for median, and A1 is for you to get the output to 2 decimal places. For part B, M1 is for you to substitute in the formula for probability event over sample space, then A1 is for you to simplify. So that's what they wanted in that question 1. Now we shall go to question 2. So first of all, question 2 came from UNEB 2015, paper 1, question 14, and says the table below shows the ages of 50 people treated for tuberculosis in brackets TB at a health center. So these are the ages of 50 people, so all these values must be 50. Part A, construct a frequency table starting with a class of 10 to 19. That is 3 marks. Then part B, use the frequency table to calculate the Roman 1 mean age of the people treated for TB, that is 6 marks, and Roman 2 median age of the people treated for TB, and that is 3 marks. So the total will be 12 marks. So the first thing to do is to perform what we call tallies. So let's come here and draw our table. Okay. So first of all, we shall put classes in the question. They specify the range of classes. They want you to get classes from 10 to 19. So 10 to 19, we shall come here and generate those values, 10 to 19, 20 to 19, like that. So what you should know that the classes must be uniform. From here to here, to get this value, they added 9 to this. So even here, you have to keep on adding 9. So from 19 you go to 20, then 20 plus 9 to come up with this. 29 you go to 30, 30 plus 9 you come up with 39. 39 you go to 40, 40 plus 9 you go to 49. 49 you go to 50, 50 plus 9 you go to 59. 59 you go to 60, 60 plus 9 you go to 69. 69 you go to 70, 70 plus 9 you go to 79. 79 you go to 80, 80 plus 9 you go to 89. 89 you go to 90, 90 plus 9 you go to 99. Now how do you know where to stop? To know where to stop, you have to look at your values. Which one is the highest? If I look at these values, if you look at the first row, the highest value is 91. For the second row, the highest is 80, so 91 is still the highest. Then for the third one, the highest is 77, so the 91 is still the highest. Third one is for the highest is 93, so 93 is the highest. Then also this, there is 93, so 93 is the highest. Therefore, if I add the another column, it will be from 100 to 109, but there is no value in hundreds. That's why we stop at 99. So that's how you can know where to stop at this column. Then you have to remember to add another row for total. Now next is what we call tallies. Tallies means bundles of we bundle 5. So what we do, we are going to come back here and start arranging. So we are going to first look for the values which range from 10 to 19. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to first highlight them. So if you look at all these values, you realize that only two values have range from 10 to 19, and that is 16 and 12. So what you're going to do, you'll come back here and you put your tallies. Tallies are like slashes, so you put two slashes to mean two values. Now next is to look for the values which range from 20 to 29. So I'm going to first remove these ones, and now I'll highlight the ones of 20 to 29. So if you look at them, there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll come back here and tally 5. So how do we tally 5? 5, I think we see you make 4 slashes. Now the fifth one is a one which crosses all to make it one bundle. Next, I'll look for the values from 30 to 39. Okay, so I'm going to first remove these ones, and then I highlight the ones from 30 to 39, and there are only two values. So you come back here and say there are only two values, so you put two tallies. Now next is the values from 40 to 49. So 40 to 49, you'll come back here, remove these ones, then you go to 40 to 49. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. So what you are going to do, you are going to put your tallies like that. So I think we realize that 5, this 1, 2, 3, 4 with a 5 slash, then the 6 will start a new bundle. Then we shall now go to 50 to 59. We shall first remove these, then we highlight the ones of 50 to 59. So we shall count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we shall come back here and say they are 16. So we shall make bundles. Remember, each bundle is 5. So 5, 5, 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. 10 plus 5 is 15. Then one to make another one to make it 16. Now we shall go to 60 to 69. We shall first remove these ones, then we go to 60 to 69. So 60 to 69, we shall count also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you shall come and put tallies to represent 9. I think you can see this is 5. Then you add another 4 to make it 9. 4 plus 5 is 9. Now we shall go to 70 to 79. 70 to 79. So I'm going to first remove these ones, then I can now go to 70 to 79. There are only 3. 1, 2, 3. So I'll come back here and say put tallies to represent 3. Then I'll go to 80 to 89. First remove these, then I highlight this. So there will be 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll come here and put tallies to represent 4. Then lastly 90 to 99. I'll remove this. Then I'll put others. So there are only 3. Okay, so I'll put now. So that is my tally, and usually that is the most tiresome work, but you have to be patient and you do it accurately. Now that you have got the tallies, you have put another column for frequency. Now frequency, you are going to just count these ones. So this is 2, you'll put there 2. Then this is 5, you put 5. This is 2, 2, 6, 16, 9, 3, 4, 3, like that. After that, you have to add all of these ones to come up with 50. Next is to generate the values of x. Remember, values of x. X is the mid-mark, so you have to add this plus this and divide by 2 to come up with that value. This plus this, divide by 2 to come up with that. This with this, divide by 2 to come up with that. And also this and that to come up with that. This and this will come up with that. This and this, divide by 2. 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 So those are the values of x. So now that we have f and x, we can generate the column of fx. So we shall say this multiplied by this, we shall come up with that. This times this, it will be that. This with this, it will be that. This and that, it will be that. This and this will be that. This and this will be that. This and this to come up with this. This and that to come up with that. This and this to come up with that. So that's how they generate the values of fx. Now after generating, you have to add up all these values and get the total and put it here. So the total will be 2787. So now the next column is for CF. So CF will be, is go from the frequency. So the first value is this, so you come and write that. Then this plus that to come up with this. 7 plus this to come up with 9. 9 plus this to come up with 15. 15 plus this to come up with 31. 31 plus this to come up with 40. 40 plus this to come up with 43. 43 plus this to come up with 47. 47 plus this to come up with 50. So that's how they generate values of cumulative frequency. And lastly, we shall generate the values of class boundaries. Now, like I said, class boundaries, you look at these two values. Now, these two values, the difference is 1. So 20 minus 19 is 1. Then 1 divided by 2 to come up with 0.5. So what does that mean? It means that to get the lower class boundaries, you'll come here at the lower class limits and subtract 0.5 from them. Then for the upper class boundaries, you'll keep on adding 0.5 to the upper class limits. So when you do that, we shall come up with this. For example, 10 minus 0.5 is 9.5. 19 plus 0.5 is 19.5. So when you do that for the second row, we shall come up with this. Then next class it will be that. 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 Next is will be that. Next is that, and lastly that is that. So that's how they generate the table, and that's the table we shall be using to answer the questions. Now the first question was construct a frequency table starting with class of this to this. Now when you talk about frequency table, it's a table with classes and frequencies. So from here up to here, so all these three columns consist of what we call the frequency table. Now these others are added on because of the extra questions asked. For example, in this question they asked for mean. When they ask for mean, it means you have to add a column of x and fx. Then when they add a column of median, it means you have to add on. When they ask a question of median, it means you have to add on a column of CF and class boundaries. So CF and class boundary is because they ask for median. Then x and fx is because they ask for mean. So now we shall go to part B, Roman 1, where they want us to calculate the mean age of the people treated for TB. So remember, here we got our summation of fx as 2785 and summation of f as 50. So when you come here, you shall substitute summation of fx, we shall put there 2785, and summation of f we shall put 50. When you use the calculator, we shall come up with 55.7 years. The next is Roman 2. For Roman 2, they ask for the median age of the people treated for TB. So the first thing to do is to get the median position, which is capital N over 2, and capital N is total frequency, which is 50. So 50 over 2, you come up with 25th position. Now that I know the 25th position, I'll come in my table and find out the median class. So if you look at this and look for 25, this is 15. Then from 15 you go to 30, meaning 25 is within 31. Therefore, this is my row of interest. Now from this row, we can get the class width. Okay, let's start from the lower class boundary. Lower class boundary is 49.5. That's what we shall use, of the median class. Then we shall go to cumulative frequency before the median class, which is 15. Then we shall go to frequency of the median class, which is 16, and then we shall go to class width, which is the difference between the two class boundaries, which is 59.5 minus 49.5 to come up with 10. Now the class width can also be got from the class limits by saying 59.5 minus 50 to come up with 9. Then after getting 9, you have to remember to add on 1 to come up with 10. So those are the values of interest. Now let's use them. So that is the formula, and now we shall substitute. This LM is the lower class boundary of the median class. N over 2 is the median position, which is 25. CFB is the geometric frequency before the median class. FM is the frequency of the median class, and C is the class width. So when I use a calculator, simplifying only this part alone, I'll come up with 6.25, and when I add this, I'll come up with 55.75 years. So basically that's what they wanted, and now let's see how marks can be awarded. So B1 is for the correct class intervals, generating these class intervals correctly, that is B1. Then another B1 is for the correct tallies. Then another B1 is for the correct column of CF corresponding to the tallies. Then B1 again for mid-mark class or class mark. Then B1 is for the column of FX. Then another B1 is for the column of CF. Another B1 is for the column of class boundaries. So that is how 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So far we have got 7 marks in this slide. Now let's go to the next slide and see how the last 5 could be got. So M1 is for substitution here, and A1 is for the output. B1 is for the getting median position, M1 is for substituting, and A1 is for the final output. So that brings us the end of this video. So the next video will be on histogram for group data. So if you have not yet subscribed, please click on the subscribe button below this video so that you can be reminded or updated when the next video on histogram for group data has been uploaded. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and if you know of any student who's not yet on this platform, please share the link of this video with them via social media platforms like Facebook and WhatsApp so that we can all benefit as a family.